Hello everyone, Seraphin here. Welcome back and thank you for joining me on more Fire Emblem Blazing Sword. Today we are going to, hopefully, finish up Lynn's quest with Chapter 10, The Distant Plains. So this is the last episode of Lynn's quest. Now that being said, this level is quite long. It takes a good deal to traverse, and then dealing with the final boss is also problematic, so if this does look like it's going to go quite long, I'll probably split it up into two parts. I don't want to have an hour-long episode when I'm normally doing 25, 30 if I can help it, so we will see how things go. We have to kill this guy. Now, for those of you who are listening, I assume all of you were, but if you're paying attention, I name-dropped one of my close friends and fellow YouTube creators, Mr. Late Night Mega. If you'd like, I'm going to post a link to his channel in the description. He does a lot of RPGs. He does, a lot of Mega Man stuff, obviously, because that's what he's named for, but he's quite good at what he does, and I enjoy his content a lot, so if you think you might be interested in some of that, feel free to give him a like and take a look. Shameless plug. I'm sure he'll be proud. So this is it. We are going to take down Lundgren today. Lynn is certainly raring and ready to go. Our final test. Alright, so in this level we get to bring everybody if we want. However, we're not going to. Only because there's not a lot of point. There's going to be plenty of units to go around, but I kind of want to consolidate the experience gains to a few people. Certain people will need it more than others. Dorcas doesn't need it at all, so we won't bring him. I'd like to get Wallace to maybe level 15 if I can. The reason why I'm leveling him up, by the way, I realized I didn't adequately explain it last time. You might be wondering why I'm leveling him up so much when he's already such a high level. That is because when you find him again later on in Ellawood's quest, he will already be a general, whether you promote him or not. So if I wait as long as possible to promote him, his stats will end up being better. If I were to do it right now, he'd be stuck with whatever he gets from promoting to a general, which it's okay, but it's not as much as I'd like it to be. So I'm going to see if I can't squeeze a few more points out of him before I promote him. If he ends up having a crap level up, though, like he did at the end of last chapter, then I'll probably just do it right at 14, so I don't waste any more experience. I want to try to get Lynn to at least level 8 or 9 if I can help it. I want to get at least Kent or Saint. If I can get them both to level 8, I'll be happy. Florina, I might just leave her at level 7. I think she's okay, but Nils, as I mentioned, has to be level 7 by the end of the chapter. I don't think that'll be a problem. The rest of the crew, they can kind of stay where they're at, so I'd like to get Wrath to maybe 8 or 9 if I can too, so we actually are not going to bring Urk because 6 is a perfectly adequate level for him. You get him very early on again in Ellawood's quest. You also get Matthew very early on, but I'd like to have him around for the purposes of stealing things from people. Will's already at a decent level, but I'd like to get him to level 8 if I can help it too, so we're just going to bring the rest of the crew here and leave Urk and Dorcas behind, as we have been doing. I don't think... Well, Sane doesn't need this 3-use sword anymore, obviously, but I don't think anyone's got a stronger one. You might be wondering why Wallace came equipped with an axe that he can't use, seeing as he can only use lances as a knight. That is because once he promotes to general, he will be able to use axes, and he'll get level E with axes, and he'll be able to use that axe he's got. So he came prepared, knowing that he'd be promoted, and strangely enough, he might not be. So we'll find out. I'd like to keep all this stuff. Yeah, it's the Angelic Robe. So I need to give this to somebody. Let's figure out who has the most need for that. I'll probably just give it to Lynn, to be completely honest with you. But I'll just have her hang on to it for now. So, does anyone have a more usable sword? Matthew barely has one at all, but like I said, I don't think I need him to gain any more levels, so... No Nobody's in danger of losing a lance either, so I think we're just going to leave it as we are here. Yeah, that's fine. Florina's going to go south immediately and pick off these mercenaries, while the rest of my crew will have to take the long way around here, unfortunately. And we'll leave Kent behind here. Not behind, but in the back. We don't need Matthew right in front either. We want Wallace front and center. We want... Whoops. That's not what I meant to do. Well, we can afford to put Matthew a little closer here. We can afford to put everybody a little closer now that I'm making some extra room, so... There we go. Alright, so let's get into it, shall we? This is the final chapter. And then we're gonna... Our goal is to defeat this jerkwad right here. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend, the a-hole, Mr. Lundgren. He is a general, so he's a promoted knight. He is incredibly hard to kill, unfortunately. That 14 defense, and he's camped on top of that gate, so he's got effectively 16 defense and 9 resistance. That being said, he is slow, which is great. That 12 strength, though, combined with a silver lance, is not at all fun. This is the mightiest of lances you can get for most of the game, and he's already got one. So that 26 attack is not something I want to be in front of, if I can at all help it. He's also got a javelin for range attacks if he needs it. That being said, he's only got one kind of weapon. The unfortunate reality is we didn't bring any axes, so this will be fun. So let's get moving, shall we? In hindsight, having Dorcas around just for the sake of taking out lance units is not a bad idea. So if you decide to play through this on your own, if you want to try out Dorcas for yourself, please feel free. He's probably not as bad as I'm making him out to be, but I've never had any luck with him, unfortunately. His speed growth is borderline non-existent, so I just don't normally bother with him, but please feel free to give him a try if you are so inclined, and you opt to give this game a shot. You really should. This is one of my favorite games, so... In fact, I would go so far as to say my favorite... It's obviously my favorite franchise, but I think Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn are my favorite entries in the series. Because, you know, we like Ike. I like Ike. Ike is great. So Florina can probably take a few hits from those guys and be fine. This archer is not anywhere near enough to get to her. We'll put Sarah in right behind here, and then these guys are all just going to kind of bottleneck through this one little gate, which is very unfortunate. I'll have Wrath visit the village, why not? It occurs to me there were some villages I didn't visit in the other one. No, was there? I'm not actually sure. That's alright. There's something important. Ah, yes, rain. So, this is going to be, I think, the only map where it rains in the whole game. Nomadic horses are better on the plains. So what she's telling this to Wrath, of course, who is a nomadic horseman. But what's going to happen is rain's going to hit the map pretty soon, and it's going to make all of my guys move pitifully slow. Everybody's affected by it. Wrath a little bit less so, as that lady explained, and also Matthew, I believe, is largely unaffected by it as well. Well, not unaffected, but he moves slightly faster. Wallace is going to wreck that poor soldier in one hit. Those soldiers, man, they're not good for anything. I don't even know why they're around, to be honest with you. Just free experience, I guess. Cannon fodder. Well, that's unfortunate. Like I said, normally Florina should be fast enough to double those poor saps, but she's not at the moment. Thankfully, Wallace is not as vulnerable as most other knights to magic. I believe he's at least got some modicum of resistance, but knights are not known to have a whole lot of magical resistance. Yeah, 2. Alright, well, it's something at least. That might come back and bite him later on, but... Alright, in that case, Lucius is still right around level 6. Who did I say I wanted to level up? Lynn, definitely. So we're going to have her finish this poor guy off. And she laughs in the face of mages. Wallace will weaken this guy for me, but I don't want him to kill him. the more experience I can get from just hurting guys with Wallace is actually beneficial, because he's such a high level, he's not going to get as much from killing them, but he'll get still a respectable amount from just hitting them. So I can use him effectively to soften up the people that might take more than one hit, so that my weaker guys can finish them off and get the full experience, because they're at a more appreciable level, I suppose. For example, Will's already level 7, so we're going to let Lucius finish this guy off. And that'll actually put him back down to an even number for Lightning Tome uses. Sadly, he is also running out, and I think once he runs out, I'm not going to bother getting another one. Because him along with Urk, you get them both very early on, once in the new, or not in the new, but in the continuation of the story, so they don't require as much attention as maybe Wrath would, or Wallace, or... that's really about it. You get most of them pretty early on. And Sarah's going to level up here. Ugh, come on, really? With this I talked up how good clerics were, and then that happens. She'll probably be level 5 by the time this level's over, so... we'll get Matthew to move a little further ahead here. He can move quite far. Thankfully, thieves have a little more movement than your typical foot soldier does. And Florina can't quite one-round this archer, and I don't want her anywhere near him, so I think I'm going to pull back for now. Yeah, that should do it. Matthew acting as bait, because he's good at that. And here comes the rain again, for the first time. So, as you can see, all of my units now have pitiful movement. Florina thankfully still gets 3, but that's still not great. Oh, now she can double this guy. What the heck was... Oh, because he was on defensive terrain before, now he's not. Perfect. That will let me eliminate him thusly. Another reason I was suggesting splitting this level up is because once the end of this chapter happens, there's going to be about 10 minutes worth of epilogues and stuff. They don't really need to do it, but they do. So this is the only game in the series, I think, that breaks up into 2 major chunks. Actually, that's not true. Radiant Dawn is in 4, technically speaking. And at the end of each one, they're like, on the next episode. It's like, well, yeah, but I'm about to play it. Like, it's still one game. So I always thought that was kind of weird. Kent, potentially. No, he's too far away, because he can't move worth squat right now with the rain. I was going to suggest he might be able to get in range to finish that archer off, but it turns out no, he cannot. Matthew can, however, kill him right now. Which is fun, because I think that should put him over to level 7, maybe? Question mark? No, not quite. Almost. And Lucius is not going anywhere. Wrath is kind of going somewhere. Yeah, and unfortunately this rain is going to just kind of start and stop and start and stop throughout the whole chapter. It's incredibly obnoxious. And I believe, actually, if you take entirely too long in this map, it just kind of stays in effect the whole rest of the time. Rather than alternating back and forth, it's just perpetual rain, and that makes things a lot more difficult. But I believe we'll be able to make it up to Lundgren before that happens. Oh yeah, of course that's what I'm doing. Yes, of course. It's kind of ironic that they're all prepping exactly to murder this guy. Ah, yes. So, there's no bridge here, but we can knock this snag down and make another. And there's also one over here, too, so you just knock those over and they make little bridges. We'll get Matthew down here. Thankfully, this rain, I think, is set to subside next turn, so I'll be able to move normal speed again. That will be nice when the time finally comes. And we'll finish off this mercenary, hopefully, and get Florina the heck out of Dodge before that brigand finds her. Alright. She's almost level 8. Alright, well, I could probably leave her alone for a bit. Here we have a shaman. I don't particularly want to deal with him with Matthew, because Matthew's resistance is pitiful. Kent's isn't any better, really, but... Kent's is a bit better. But at least he can retaliate. Get everybody locked and loaded down here, including Mr. Armorman. Who needs healing? Wallace does, apparently. And so does Matthew. So now we're going to break our first healing staff. Which is fine, we got another one. And get everybody out of the way. Oh, and now we're going to get Cavalier reinforcements from that fort for a few turns at the very least. I believe Kent's going to be fast enough to double this guy, so we'll take him out in one round. And we can proceed with uninhibited. And Kent's going to get to level 8? Level 7. Alright, that's not bad. He got luck, at least. Luck is really important for Ken, because his growth's really usually pretty bad at that. Actually, he has the same luck as Sane now. It's pretty sad. Sane's just not doing so hot this round. Alright, so we're going to put Kent... Alright, we're good. I'm going to put Kent in here. What do we get? Yes, such a long way. Do you know where I've come from, lady? You don't even know who I am. Ah, yes, an energy ring. I forgot all about this. She's not wrong. They are incredibly hard to come by. I think you only get a couple throughout the course of the game, so... Might vanish once you've used them. No, they definitely do. So we get an energy ring. And this, much like the angelic robe, will permanently increase stats of somebody. In this case, magic or strength. By 2 points. And I'm not sure who needs that the most. Let's find out. Who needs magic? Nils doesn't need it. Sarah could certainly deal with it. I wouldn't mind having a little more healing potency on her. Lynn, Kent, Will, Wrath, they're all good candidates for that. Everybody's kind of okay in the strength department, actually. Like, that's really impressive. I lucked out with strength this playthrough, not so much with speed. Unfortunately, my fastest person is only 12. Normally, Matthew'd have like 18 speed by now. And that's, you think I'm joking, it's actually kind of true. Lock that down. Who else is hurt? Florina's kind of hurt. Let's get her healed up. And I want to get Lynn in a position where she can start taking out those horses, because she's got the right weapon to do it, and she needs a few more levels if we're going to take down Lundgren. I'd like her to do it because of the whole poetic justice element of it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be her that does it, I guess. Sometimes I'll go out of my way to make sure it's her that kills him. Oh, perfect, and she can finish off this brigand while she's at it. Assuming she can get down there. She certainly can, and she blocks the bridge here in the process, so... We're just going to kind of spam the Monikati now because we've barely touched it this whole time, and it's got 45 uses, so might as well go to town with that sucker. I'll bring General Wallace here as a backup in case Lynn needs help. I don't think she will, but... There we go, perfect. I'll just leave him right there. Who else is hurt? Anybody? Not really. Lynn's probably going to need that if she gets hit by a bunch of lances, though, so... Might as well get some free weapon XP for Matthew here. And I'll bring Kent down to check out this armory and village. And you know what? Florina can get there right away. I'll just have her go to this village real quick. It's almost like I just talked to somebody that said the exact same thing as you. Maybe. Quote unquote. Alright, and here comes more cavaliers. Oh, jeez, I didn't know they'd hit that hard. That's not good. Yeah, good thing I put Sarah close to her, because she's definitely going to need the help. Speed, luck, resistance, HP, it's alright. Thankfully that guy can't quite get to her. And it's going to rain again. Perfect. My favorite. If I just leave her here, though, she should be fine. Let's see if Senior Wallace here can make better work of these guys. What level is he? You know, I'm going to let him take out some calves for a little bit. Plenty of them are going to spawn, so I'm not all that concerned about it. Let's get Lynn healed up here. Man, these guys hit like trucks. Weapon triangle makes a bigger difference than you might think. Alright, let's check out what's in this armory, because I'm curious. Okay, so you've seen the Armor Slayer and the Hammer before, but now we have the Heavy Spear, which is the same thing as the other two, but only in lance format. So all three of these are specifically designed to murder that jerkwad sitting on the gate right now. And then you've got a stronger steel bow as opposed to the iron one. It is not effective against armored units, but it allows Wrath and Will potentially to punch through his defense. That being said, I don't really know that I need to buy any of this stuff. Kent could certainly do with a heavy spear, or Sane actually could definitely do with one. So I'll probably let him have one so we can take some smacks at Lundgren. Anything valuable in the shop here? Oh, look at this! We got a Thunder Tome. I didn't realize we could even get these in Lynn's quest. Hits a bit harder than the standard Fire Tome. But unfortunately we didn't bring Urk, so no one could use any of that stuff. And we got a replacement Lightning Tomes if we were so inclined, but I think we'll be okay. I'm gonna knock this other snag down, I think. Well, I think I'll wait until those Cavaliers quit spawning. And then I'll do it. Let's get Matthew down here. Let's bring the whole gang, why not? No one left is up there. Okay, we're good. More Cavaliers. Oh, he's putting himself on the forest, eh? Didn't really help him all that much. Yeah, with the rain. I love it. Rain is the best. Don't really need to have him on the forest since he's not going to be taking any damage from these poor suckers anyway, but it's just too much fun. In fact, I'm going to let Lynn finish him off. As long as she doesn't miss, that would be bad. Or that would be really bad. Oh, she'll crit. Such a cool animation. I realize she hasn't done that since the first chapter, and now I'm kind of sad because I love looking at that animation. I believe... Oh, really? With the 89% miss again? Yeah, so Wallace will level as soon as he hits and kills this guy. And Sane, we're gonna get you a present by going into this armory and buying a heavy spear. He can use that, right? Yeah, he's got rank D. We're good. Rest of the stuff we don't really need. I know that sounds crazy considering how beefy this guy is, but trust me, he won't be as much trouble as Eagler was. Especially since he's locked to lances, and we have a Lance Reaver, so that'll make quick work of him too, believe it or not. Even with Lynn's kind of mediocre strength. I think it's a level 5, does it? Yep. So I've got 20 more turns. And we'll finish this guy off. Hey, I think that puts her at level B. Sure does. Okay. Sane can take that spear from Matthew. Here, have a sword in return, buddy. You need one, evidently. Just kind of get everybody grouped up here. There's no real reason for it, but I think that's the last Cavalier. Oh, Lynn with the miss. It's unfortunate. So we'll just have Wallace finish this guy off. It should put him at level 14. Get something good, buddy. Skill, resistant, you know, I'll take it. And it's not speed or strength like I wanted him to get, but I'll take skill and I'll take resistance. Again, not the greatest, but... Alright. Lynn's not going to have a lot of opportunity to get more experience points before the end of this level, so... I'll probably just let Wallace kill Lundgren, to be honest with you. He's definitely going to need to be softened up quite a bit. I don't know that Lucius can take a hit from him and not die in the process. He can take one hit from him. There's not nearly as much experience points to go around in this level as I was expecting either, unfortunately, so... we will let Sane deal with the Knight, though. That should put him to level 7. Hopefully. And we can get... Maybe get Lucius to level 7 as well, but not much more than that. Everybody else is pretty much okay, though. I'm happy with where everybody else is at for now. Ow. Oh, wow, I get him with one hit? Seriously? This thing's bulkier than I thought. I guess Sane just has that much strength, too. Oh, wow, look at that! Defense and skill. I'll take it. And more strength, because he'll never not get strength. He's the beefiest paladin you'll ever run into. How much damage does he do to this guy anyway? 15? Wow. That's not bad at all, you know? Alright, let's get the whole gang together here. Is there any point in bringing any of these guys? Not really. I do want to show you some more of the conversations, though, so I think what I'm going to do is we'll let him hit Kent. Because Kent's not going to get killed by him in the process. And you can see what they have to say to each other. Kent, Sane, Lynn, and then maybe Wallace have unique dialogue options with Lundgren, so... You must be the traitor, Kent, yes? Your treachery precedes you. Turned your coat. You know, I never knew what that meant when I was a kid. I will say, Lundgren is of a very cool purple color scheme. I like that quite a bit. I wish he wasn't a massive douche canoe. Let's see if Wallace has a line with him or not. Actually, Wallace can use that heavy spear too, can't he? So why don't we get Kent out of the way, and I'll let Wallace take him to town with that. Or I'll let him hit Sane first. He's probably going to go full-bore Silver Lance on me, but I can take one of those and be fine. And then we'll give Nils his experience points here. Alright, get at me, jerk. Ah, Sane. You're not like that other dude. I'm rather fond of my stubborn jackass friend. Yeah, I'd like to see you try. Ow. Hey, we got a hit. Perfect. So now... Man, Wallace is exactly as strong as Sane is. So we're going to deliver him his heavy spear. And then get him the heck out of dodge. Heal him up in the process. We're going to give Lynn that Lance Reaver also. Oh yeah, I need to use these boosting items. I keep forgetting about. Do not let me forget about that. I know you can't respond to me right now, but that's okay. So we're going to park Wallace right here and let Lundgren hit him too. Let's see who needs that robe, because now I'm curious. HP. Nils needs it a lot. I should go by max HP, not remaining HP. There we go. Honestly, I think Lynn might be the best candidate for it. She's only got 20 HP left in level 7 already, so... Yeah, let's just give it to her. She's already holding on to the thing, isn't she? Yep, she sure is. So I will use that with her. Puts her to a respectable 27 hit points. And then I'm not sure who to give that energy ring to. Because again, I'll be honest, I'm probably going to give it to Kent. Oh, Lynn's also a really good candidate for it, too. Unfortunately, Lynn has the potential to get screwed over on strength really badly later in the game. She's not doing that right now, but I have no guarantee it's going to stay that way, so I will more than likely give it to her. Also because Kent has access to more powerful weapons, lances, as opposed to just being locked to swords, so I'll probably give that to Lynn also. Watch, I give it to her and she levels up from killing Lundgren and gets like, gets more strength. Would not be surprised. Oh, there is no special conversation with Wallace, actually. I would have thought there would be. Man, he can't even two-hit Wallace. That defense, though. And he's not even promoted yet. I believe he gets at least 2 more points of defense when he promotes. That's the insane thing. The guy is such a beatstick. The problem is, once you get him back later on in Elwood's quest, he's sadly not quite as respectably good as you might think. So we're going to get him out of the way for now. I don't know where I'm going to put him, unfortunately, because I can't move anybody now. I would like Lynn to get at least 1 hit on him. Just so you can see the dialogue option. And we're going to give... I'll park her here and give her the Lance Reaver. So, even... He can't do 29 damage to her, so there's no way. Or 30, I should say. So, we'll give her the energy ring too, just for kicks and giggles. And he's going to come at her. Oh, Lynn with the angry face again. Lynn has absolutely had it with your crap. It's funny too, because a lot of the times I'll do to even get a little more extra poetic justice out of it. I'll kill her. I'll kill him with the Manikati just to. Oh, it's so great, so poetic. Do I even want to bother hitting him with this? Lynn can certainly use the level. You know, I'll let her kill him. Oh, maybe I won't. Well, I'll give it a try, I guess. Why can't she... Oh, because that Lance Reaver weighs a solid ton. That's why she can't double him. Poor Lynn's constitution. Yeah, it weighs 9, and she's getting weighed down 4 by it. Jeez. Alright, we'll put Wallace back over here. I need to get her the heck out of there. So I guess Wallace is going to kill him after all. And we will get Nils some more experience because we need to. Get her healed up. Now ideally, yeah, Wallace only needs one more hit to finish him off, so. You know I said I was going to split this episode up, but it's a little past half an hour, so I think we're just going to go with it. It's going to be an extra long one. You guys get an extra long episode for the end of the Lynn's quest, and it's also the Friday, so you get an extra present. I want to let him come to me though, and then we're going to give Lynn that energy ring. There we go. Looking good, looking good. I'm not just saying that because she's pretty. Alright, Wallace, do your thing, bro. Boom! This is the first time I think I've killed him in a very long time, and it wasn't Lynn that did it. Well, you know what? First time I'm recording it too, so... First time's for everything. Give me some strength. No, oh, come on, Wallace. You jerk. That was worth a shot, I guess. I guess he really isn't that much better, even if you wait to promote him. Alright, we're gonna kind of go into soul-minded mode here. I need to get, what the heck's his name? Nils up to level 7, so... We get one more level out of Sarah before we're done, though. Hey, magic, luck, resistance. That's alright. Level 5. You know, I can deal with that. And why don't you go heal Sane, too, while you're at it. More experience you can get out of her, the better. Yeah, the rain won't last long. It lasts, like, a turn. It's pretty bad, actually. Normally I wouldn't do this, but especially since you're all watching, but I promise it's just for a minute. Why don't I do it with Lynn, actually, because then it's going to auto-cursor her every time anyway. Hold on, can you still hear the rain in the background, even though it's not raining anymore? I think so. I think that's a glitch. Huh. Isn't that interesting? I was not aware of that before. Alright, really quick here, folks, I promise. I remember stupid me when I was younger. When I've learned I had to do this, I didn't turn the animations off, and it took close to an hour. But the only reason I did that, too, is because I got them all the way to level 20. Which is totally doable, by the way. In fact, it's very doable to sit here and farm experience points from Lundgren and get your army to pretty high levels. Because even if you don't damage him, you still get experience. You get 1. But I've seen some very either dedicated or insane people sit here and just clink away at Lundgren until all his weapons are broken and get all their people to like level 20 before Lynn's quest is even over, and it's like, what is the point, man? At that point, because at that point when you get these guys, they're all way over leveled. You're spending hours and hours and hours getting to that point. It doesn't even, you're taking the fun out of the game, if you ask me. So personally, I don't think it's worth it. I would rather play the game the way that it was intended to, with the appropriate balance, the appropriate level scaling. You just have a more enjoyable time. And if you think it's too easy, then you have hard mode. And if you cheese hard mode, then why are you playing hard mode? Like, hard mode's for people who want a challenge. Yeah, that's definitely the rain still playing even when it's not raining. That's pretty interesting. Alright. This is the last one. I promise I will explain to you why we need Nil to level 7 once we get to that point, but again, it's going to be... Oh, he got his skill point, of course he did. 5% growth. Anyway, so we're going to finish up the level here, and that is the end of Lynn's quest. And now we get about 15 minutes of cutscenes and records, so strap in. It's going to be about an hour-long episode. Who let him out? I just got here. Man, and nobody thought to stop him. I mean, I guess you'd all be scared, but... Oh. Hussar, chieftain of the Lorca. Again, apparently everybody knows she looks exactly like her mom. Oh, isn't that cute? I thought she said something about the survivors numbering less than 10, or something to that effect. I don't remember her being the only survivor. Yeah, but then Lynn wouldn't have gotten to have her plainswoman upbringing, and she'd probably be an entirely different person. She'd probably be like a really snobby noblewoman, actually, because a lot of them are in these series. Like, Maribel from Awakenings is snobby or noble. Claire from Echoes is really snobby and annoying. I'm not saying every noble woman is snobby and annoying, but a lot of them are in this series. What if said illness attacks your heart? People just not have heart disease back then? Like, it's actually probably true. They probably had a lot less frequently if you think about it. Unless you had some kind of genetic defect, but even then, I think that was less likely too. Don't listen to me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Well, what reason does she have to go home? There's nobody left there for her. It's a pretty miraculous recovery for a really old dude who's been being poisoned for 3 months straight. Yep, so now Florina's going to become a Knight of Kalen. The first Pegasus Knight of Kalen, I believe. That was supposed to be a hug, if you didn't figure that out. Yep, all these people that we've been recruiting in our little mercenary band, now they're all going to become official Royal Guardsmen. Except me. I'm leaving. Kind of already am, but I guess you don't know how many times I've gone back in time to play this. Can't tell if she's happy or sad here. Maybe a little bit of both, I guess. Okay, so now what we get here is a little rolling scroll of our unit's records. So the number of battles they fought in, how many wins they had, how many losses they had, and then a little blurb about what happened to them. So Kent gets named Knight Commander because he's awesome. Sane becomes the sub-commander. He's still a womanizing jerk. Okay, he's not really a jerk, he's very lighthearted. Exactly half as many battles as she took part in. That's actually really good. Anything more than 40% gets you an S rank, so... I'll explain the ranking once we get a chance to look at that more clearly, but for right now. I realize I keep talking to you guys like you've played this before, when I know none of you have, or some of you maybe have, but... The idea is I'm explaining this to somebody who's new to the series. I want to get more people to play this thing, because... I think tactics games offer a lot in terms of not just... See, there's the thing. There's an art panel back there we never actually got to see in full view. That's Dorcas, Urk, and Sarah. That's the only time you see it is right here. Anyway, sorry about that. So, I would like more people to play these kinds of games because they offer a lot, not just in terms of story with the RPG elements and the character growth and everything, but it's really fun to have the whole... The inventory management's a big deal. Support, you get support conversations in the next part of the game. Growing relationships between characters. That changes their endings. They also get bonuses from being near each other when they're supported with one another. And it's a lot. There's another panel you only see once right here. Lynn going full bore against Lundgren there. You see Wallace and Matthew and Lucius in the background. Really cool. Anyway. But just this style of thing, I don't think there's enough of these kinds of games. Fire Emblem is the biggest example, I think, of this kind of a game, but I would like to see more of them. Shining Force was what did it for me when I was growing up, and that was a big deal. That was on Genesis? Was it just on Genesis? Might have been on more than just Genesis. Anyway, but that was my big thing growing up, and there's a couple more. There's like Final Fantasy Tactics is really good, Tactics Ogre, that sort of things, but there's not many, and I'd like to see a few more if possible. But maybe I'm just a huge nerd for the series. Oh, that's right. I had to restart once because Lynn died. You guys didn't see that. That's also when I was. That's when I realized I wasn't recording with episode 7X was she died, and I went to go look at my time and see what happened, and well, it turns out I wasn't recording. So it was a happy accident that I wasn't because Lynn died. That's okay. So anyway, here we see Lynn. She's on top of a hill, and she's remembering where she came from, and she's very sad. So again, I don't know why they bothered to give you the whole epilogue thing when we're literally going to resume the game right where we left off. Not quite where we left off, actually. Okay, so here is... I'm going to call it here just a minute, but here's where we get to pick between Ellawood or Hector's quest. So, as you can see, it says from Chapter 11 to Final. In Ellawood's quest, there are, I think it goes to Chapter 31. Final is actually 31, and in Hector it's actually 33. So Hector has a few more chapters than Ellawood does. but not very many. And you can pick normal or hard mode. We're going to do Ellawood on normal to resume with, so we're going to go through that the way, like the initial playthrough of the game, and then once I finish that, I'll probably come back and we'll go back to this split right here and we'll do Hector instead. So you can see both routes there, and maybe at some point in the future I'll come back and do hard modes for one or both of them, but that's going to be probably quite a while. I'm probably going to get sick of playing this after 3 times, so that being said, we are going to pick up with Ellawood's quest next time. And that will be Chapter 11, and we will get into the real meat and potatoes of the game, and I have a lot more to show you guys, I promise. So, thank you for sticking around with me this long. I know it's been a long episode, so please enjoy the extra long content here. I'm going to try not to make it a habit, but just this once. So, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Today's actually my birthday, so I'm going to go enjoy some other things. So, probably some food at the very least. So, take care of yourselves, enjoy, and I will be back next time with Chapter 11 and the start of Ellawood's tale. Until then, fare thee well. I have been Seraphin. A good night.